Welcome to the Cory Lee Show, where our focus is on building leaders and transforming culture. My name is Cory Lee, and in each episode, I aspire to ignite something on the inside of you that encourages you to grow yourself and to make an impact on the world around you. Welcome to the Cory Lee Show. Welcome back to the Cory Lee Show. We are recording right here live from the Well Podcast recording studio here in Tupelo, Mississippi. And I'm excited to share with you today a piece from my book. It should be released by now. You can get that book on my website or Amazon. We've got it on paperback, got on Kindle, and it's actually in production right now for Audible for those that like to listen to books. I kind of like that. I'm assuming if you listen to podcasts, you probably listen to books as well. And so we should have that coming out on Audible sometime soon. And just want to share a piece of this with you today. And it's from my book called Champions, The Attributes, the Choice, the Lifestyle. And in this chapter, I'm talking about failure, and it's a champion's view of failure. Yeah, J.K. Rowling, she said, "It is impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default." Ooh-wee, man, may that never be said of you and I, that we live so cautiously that we may not have lived at all. Man, what if I told you that failure, the very thing that we often fear and avoid, is often the secret ingredient to success? Let me ask you another question. What would you try if you knew that you would not fail? How about a third question? What would you attempt even if you knew that you would fail, or the probability of failure was rather high? See, that second question reveals some dreams deep within your heart. That third question, though, reveals the true passions that are lying deep beneath the layers of doubt, disappointment, and fear. It separates mere interest from true passion. I love what NBA MVP champion Giannis, and I can't even say his name, right? We like him. I like watching him play. There's a Netflix, or maybe even on Amazon, it kind of shares his life story, part of his journey into the NBA, and absolutely love it. But you know what? I'm not even going to say his last name because I can't say it. I'm going to just say his first name, Giannis. But he said, this is what he said about fear. He said, "The difference between being a coward and a hero is how you deal with fear." See, a champion's perspective on failure is drastically different from that of a critic. For a champion, failure is not the end. It's simply a stepping stone on the path to victory. A champion sees failure as an event, not an identity statement. It's a temporary setback that provides invaluable lessons and opportunities for growth. Failure, my friends, is not fatal. It only becomes so when we surrender to it, when we stop trying and we stop learning. Think about it. Failure is often the best teacher that you'll come in contact with, you'll encounter. If you would just pause and take some time to consider or even evaluate some of your biggest blunders, you will often find that some of those best lessons that you've learned in life have come through that. See, through our missteps and our setbacks, we discover lessons that we've never learned any other way. The key, though, it lies in embracing these lessons and ensuring that we don't repeat the same mistakes. I often like to say when we do leadership training with teams and those kind of things that experience is not the greatest teacher, but evaluated experience is the greatest teacher. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of all time, he famously said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." See, what Michael Jordan meant was that there are moments when, despite our best efforts and preparations, we still fall short. And these are pivotal moments when we got to face a choice. Will we complain about it? Will we cry about it? Will we blame our circumstances on other people, or we choose to grow? See, choosing to grow means recognizing these moments or these revelations of our current abilities and then identifying opportunities for improvement. See, as you push To see just how far you can go in life, there is no doubt that you will hit a lid or a ceiling on your current abilities. And it's just a revelation of where your current abilities lie. See, this is a powerful and profound moment, but it trips many would-be champions up. See, these moments are moments of revelation, and they serve to show exactly which areas need improving. And so, as an example, I was recently asked to speak at we were doing this private event, and the feeling in the room prior to my opportunity to speak, it's kind of awkward. And you could just feel, I don't know if you've been in rooms where you can just kind of feel the nervousness in the room. You can tell that there's a little bit of tension in the room and some I guess you would say uncertainty. I could not discern if it was just me or if it was just that day or what it was. And so I just kind of was thinking on this, and I did my presentation and it went good, but it was just good. And I still just could not point my finger. I couldn't put my finger on exactly what happened, but afterwards we were doing this debrief of the whole night. And during our debrief, the primary leader, he shed some light on what he saw. He shared what the exact problem was and what led to a subpar night compared to our expectation. And really, everything that he said really was on my part of the night. And when he shared with me what he saw, his words, it cut like a knife, and it felt like a deep gut punch, right? I was embarrassed because everything he said, it wasn't only true, they were also things that I should know by now. like the things that he pointed out, these are things that I know, but man, I also teach these things, right? And so it was just a gut punch. And when I got back to my room, I went straight into prayer and personal assessment of the night. And I can remember sitting with the Lord, and I discovered that although this experience felt painful and embarrassing at the moment, it was such a beautiful gift. And after, I was thinking about this, I had been desiring to get certain results in a particular area of my life. And though I had tried all these different things, I just was not getting the certain results and the things that I wanted to up to that point. Yet this man, in the form of a feedback, handed me a beautiful gift, the answer to my current results. And see, when losses come, the question is, are you willing to seek out solutions? Am I willing to seek out solutions? Don Yeager, he's a really famous sports journalist, and he wrote a book called Greatness, the 16 Characteristics of True Champions. And what he did was he delved into the minds of legendary athletes like Michael Jordan, I've mentioned him, John Wooden, Peyton Manning, Kobe Bryant. And what he said, he discovered a common thread among all these greats, that they hated to lose more than they loved to win. That their distaste for defeat, more than the thrill of victory, is actually what drove them to greatness. Wayne Rooney, he put it like this: I just hate losing, right? And that gives me an extra determination to work harder. See, when you love to win more than you hate to lose, it causes you to say, well, we'll get them next time. We'll get them next time. We'll do the good this time, and we'll get them next time. See, that kind of attitude, it learns no lessons. That kind of attitude looks for no paths of continued improvement. That kind of attitude, it settles for good enough. The attitude of a champion seeks to stay curious in victory and defeat. Stay curious. When I was growing up, we used to have this saying is that curiosity killed the cat. Well, I like to say that lack of curiosity killed the champion, right? You got to stay curious. So how do we adopt this champion mentality in our lives where there is no physical scoreboard? And I think the answer lies in how we handle failure. See, in those critical moments of setback, what is your response? What is my response? Do you passively accept defeat, or do you resolve to grow, vowing to do whatever it takes to improve? Hey guys, I hope you are enjoying this episode of the Cory Lee Show. Y'all, I am on a mission to build leaders and to transform culture. So if you're looking for a speaker who speaks directly to the heart, a mentor to come alongside you and your team, or if you're in a position where you're looking for a personal coach who embraces where you are and also believes in who you could become, then I would be honored to walk this path with you. Simply reach out to me on my email at Cory@CoryLeeLeadership.com. Look, let's make your vision a reality. Contact me, and together we'll navigate the path from aspiration to achievement. Your transformation, it starts now. Embracing the latter mindset actually means being willing to wake up earlier, stay up later, read more, attend seminars, hire a coach, listen to wisdom, whatever it is, whatever I got to do to improve. It's not all about simply doing more and more activity. It's really about making the commitment to yourself that you will never partner with defeat, and you will choose to seek out ways to grow. It's about setting a standard for yourself that refuses to accept complacency. I think as we thinking about cultivating a champion's view of failure, there are really three major giants that we've got to consider and we've got to conquer. We got to get rid of these or defeat these giants or enemies. It's doubt, disappointment, and fear. See, doubt, this giant, it likes to whisper into your ear, hey, sure, anything is possible, just not through you. See, that's what doubt says. Doubt says, John can do it and so can Mary, but not you. Doubt subtly suggests what may be possible for others is impossible or improbable for you. And I just want to say that impossible, it's only an opinion. It's not a fact. Everything seems impossible until it's actually done. See, I suggest that you silence the voice of doubt, follow the conviction of your heart, and give the thing a try. See, remember, you are uniquely created with a purpose. You are not a mistake, but rather you are a solution to a problem that only you can solve. You got to believe that God created you in His image and designed you with your very own unique gifts, talents, and abilities and potential. The other giant is disappointment. And I tell you, this one's a disappointment. That's a tough one, right? Disappointment is actually the gap between expectations and reality. It's that gut-wrenching feeling that we're left with when the thing we expected to happen, it either didn't happen or didn't happen in the manner which we expected it. Disappointment that's not dealt with, it actually becomes the brooding ground of unbelief. See, if I allow disappointment to fester, then suddenly there becomes an assault on my lifestyle of faith and my desired outcome, and I end up sitting on the sidelines of life. It's crucial, my friends, to view these moments as temporary setbacks, not permanent failures. You got to learn from them, rise again, and keep moving forward. The other giant is fear. Fear often misguides our imagination towards thinking the worst case scenarios. Fear often disguises itself as wisdom because fear's suggestions, they sound logical. The giant of fear causes us to think of all the ways something could go wrong, or all the reasons why something cannot be possible, or how all the things will never work out. And what I've discovered is that the majority of times, fear is simply faith in the wrong outcome. But to counteract this giant, recognize that if it's possible to imagine all the negative outcomes, then you know what? It's also possible to create and imagine all the positive outcomes as well. So you want to trigger the creative use of your imagination and say, if this were possible, how would it be possible? You got to put a how in front of your can I. To defeat any enemy, you must first identify who the enemy truly is. And even once we identify which of the three giants we may be struggling with, fear, I think in particular, has a few different forms that it'll show up in from time to time. And here's just a few that I've kind of considered is the fear of failure, or this fear of getting it wrong. This is the anxiety over making mistakes or not achieving desired outcomes. The other fear is the fear of others' opinions. See, this involves worrying excessively about the judgment or approval of others. There's a huge number of people who stand at the bargain bin of life, and they never step into who they were created to be because they accept the opinions of others as fact. Whoa. The fear of standing alone for what's right. See, this is the apprehension about being isolated or criticized for upholding principles and truth. Another interesting fear is this fear of letting people down, letting other people down. See, this is the concern over failing to meet the expectations or the needs of others who depend upon us. And then here's the last one I want to share with you. It's an interesting one. The fear of success. See, this is an interesting one. This fear is less about achieving success and more about the consequences that come with it. The fear of success, it might manifest as anxiety over the increased responsibilities, expectations, and the visibility that often comes with significant achievement. It can involve concerns about maintaining success once it's achieved, or worries about the impact that success may have on personal relationships. Some might fear that success will fundamentally change their lives in ways they're not prepared for, leading them to subconsciously sabotage their own efforts. But here's the thing. See, champions recognize and confront these fears as needed, and they understand that the journey to greatness is fraught with challenges both external and internal. They know that courage isn't about being fearless so much as it is about moving forward and despite the fears. I want you to tune in right here, because among the fears that champions face, one that remains and propels them towards greatness is the fear of not realizing their full potential. The thought of reaching the end of their days with untapped potential is a powerful motivator. It drives them to explore the limits of what's possible, to constantly asking themselves, what more can I achieve? How much further can I go? How much further can I push my boundaries? See, to a champion, the ultimate goal is the idea of standing before the living God and being able to say, I used everything you gave me. Nothing was wasted. Everything was utilized to its fullest potential. Thank you for this gift of life. This mindset allows true champions to view failure not as a permanent state or an identity, but rather as a temporary detour on the road to success. And as I wrap this one up, I just want you to remember, failure is not fatal. It's not who you are. You are a champion. And the heart of a champion sees every challenge as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to excel. Hey, I hope today has added value to you. I hope this has encouraged you, and I hope it's just sparked something on the inside of you, right? I hope it sparks something on the inside of you to go make an impact in your family, in your community, your place of business, your place of work. You are a champion, and that's not just in one area of life. That is your whole life. When you walk out into the community, you are a champion. When you walk into your home and you hug your wife or your husband, you hug your kids, you are a champion. And this world actually needs more champions to rise up. Champions who are good at what they do and great at who they are, who stand on truth and justice, and who are unwilling to take bribes, unwilling to go in back rooms, unwilling to cut corners, and unwilling to compromise. And so I hope today has encouraged you. This, again, was a chapter from my book, Champions, the Attributes, the Choice, the Lifestyle. And if you'd love to get a copy of that, you can go to my website, CoryLeeLeadership.com/champion, or you can go to Amazon and you can get that. And so would love for you guys to buy that. That would be great. It would be nice to get out of the red on that, I guess you would say. But truly, somebody had asked me why I write books. And honestly, I write books. It's really what I've been thinking about, and just things that are overflowing. But really, I write for a generation to come. I write to our grandkids and our great-grandkids who I may never even get to meet. And I want them to understand what our family values are. I want them to understand who we were and the things that we stood for. And if it adds value to other people, that's great. That is great. And so, honestly, I write for a generation yet to come, but I hope that inspires you. And so, anyway, appreciate you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can stay up to date with any of the latest episodes of the Cory Lee Show. Hope you guys have a great day, and God bless.
3, 2, 1. Okay.
Thanks for joining me today. I hope I have added value to you. And if you have found value in this episode, let me know. Drop a comment and make sure you share with a friend or family member. See you next episode.